Well, hello and welcome to the bedroom of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays book by Gary Goldschneider and Joost for July 15th, the day of Material Inducers. And here we have us an illustration of a butterfly and a basket of coins. Gold, silver, I can't quite tell, but there are coins there. I had to get real close to look at it. Pulled that focus, you might say. Hey, is it your birthday? It's July 15th and it's your birthday? Well, if it is, I just want to say happy birthday. And if this video finds you long or shortly after your birthday has come and gone, well, I hope you had a happy birthday. But for everyone else who's just joining us randomly, I want to say welcome and I hope you enjoy yourself. Before we dive into the breakdown, let's roll us some dice. This is the Diecast birthday cast, right? And why are we rolling some dice, you may be wondering? Well, for synchronicity's sake. That's right. And what do we roll us? We got us a 4 and a 1 for a 5. Yeah. For July 15th. And we got the 1 in the root, 4 in the crown, if that adds additional meaning to it for you. For those of you who don't know what synchronicity is, well, it's just the universe's way of showing us we're on the right path and it's looking out for us. I know some of us think things are just going, oh, really bad. Man, you got your pity party going. Hey, even if you avoid the things the universe throws in front of you, as I've been told, it puts more stuff right in front of you. So the numbers are a way of looking for it. Now, you don't necessarily have to go off the numbers I gave you, but the intention was there for you and your birthday. So give it a look. I don't know, maybe you're heading to town to do yourself some shopping, and it's 54 degrees out on the sign up there, at the gas station, and you're like, oh, hey, that's crazy. So you're in the right place. You're getting the right amount of gas. Or maybe, who's to say, maybe you meet the love of your life at pump number 4, and you're at pump number 1, but you happen to be going over for the little squeegee there, but it was gone. They had it in their hand, and I don't know, maybe you already have a love of your life, so it's just a gas station attendant, and it turns out to be a best friend. You never know with these things. And it could be something as simple as finding like a coupon in the trash for your favorite bag of chips for 54 cents off. Something like that. Hey, let's dive in with the breakdown. Enough of me trying to wax poetic with what synchronicity means and how to read the dice. Your month is July. Your day is the 15th. And your sign is 22 to 24 degrees Cancer, of the Cancer 3 period specifically. And your quality and element is Cardinal water. All right, July 15th, the day of Material Inducers. July 15 people are able to realize their worldly goals by inducing others and manipulating materials to do their will. Those born on this day display an impressive control over their environment. With people, their first step is usually to arouse or activate them and then exert positive pressure to get them to move in the right direction. The wise, talented use of material is a recurrent theme in the lives of July 15 people. They may be bound to this world in a variety of ways, as a rich man to money, a real estate agent to property, a father or mother to a home, a painter to paints and canvases, or a musician to an instrument. In the case of an artist, although the mode of expression is earthly and grounded, the content often moves toward more non-material and spiritual directions as the artist progresses through life. Although their motives proceed from desire and attraction, potentially healthy forces, July 15 people will be prone to attach to objects once they have attained them. They must learn the lesson of non-attachment at some point in their lives, or run the risk of complacency, jealousy, or even all sorts of fixed sexual obsessions. July 15 people can be highly useful members of society when directing their energies towards the betterment of its institutions. A willingness to share wealth, good fortune, or material possessions with others is an important component of an evolved July 15 personality. Less evolved types are likely to simply hoard these things for themselves or perhaps their immediate family. Because of their unique connection to the material world, July 15 people face an important decision, whether to be slaves to it or masters over it. The word mastery here should not imply an exploitative domination, but an ever-changing relationship with their environment where non-action plays as significant a role as action in maintaining harmony. And those born on this day indeed have a great responsibility to their fellow human beings, particularly as their magnetic influence over them can be so considerable. Consequently, as early in life as possible, July 15 people must form their ethics and live according to a set of principles which they truly believe, because their influential talents do not at all imply a corresponding depth in the moral sphere. Although highly responsible in discharging their duties, they must beware of using others for their own selfish ends, and of teaching, either by word or example, empty values to their children, employees, or associates. Well, all right, the day of a material inducer. I hadn't heard that said of anyone before, right? So there's something new, something cool. Maybe you heard it here first yourself. Original things. I like that. Anyway, how about that synopsis, huh? I have it written down here in the notes. Working your materials and showing impressive control over your environment. Is that a recurrent theme in your life? Well, I'd say if it is, I feel as though, on one hand, if it is, even just ever so slightly, that's great. That's amazing. Great to hear about oneself if it was even partially true. But if it wasn't happening for you in that way, on the other hand, it'd be a huge disappointment as far as I was concerned. So who wouldn't want a natural kind of mastery? And I would say that mastery, in fact, is probably the more influential theme here over material inducement, or whatever that means. But heed the warning of attachments and being bound to objects of your desire. In other words, don't let the things you own end up owning you, right? And I suppose that can be said of ideas or projects. I know with me, I don't like letting my ideas live rent-free in my mind, or my projects take possession of myself. Even when you get those things done, I'm such a perfectionist that sometimes I can't get my mind off of them. Like I could have done something better. Gotta form that non-attachment, right? In any event, what else did I write? Let's see, I'm giving myself. But it's interesting that it says here that non-action can play a significant role in maintaining harmony. Very zen. But back down to earth for the more heady considerations. Beware of using others for your own selfish ends. That's right. Be a little bit of an altruist. You are a master, right? Okay, let's move on to your numbers and your planets. Those born on the 15th of the month are ruled by the number 6. 1 plus 5 equals 6. And by the planet Venus. Those ruled by the number 6 tend to be magnetic and can even inspire worship. As indicated above, July 15 people have a great impact and control over others. Since Cancer is ruled by the moon, those born on July 15th come under the moon-Venus influences, which are highly seductive and emotionally manipulative. The challenge to those born on this day is to not get stuck in the material world and its passions, but first to understand, second to master, and third to harness desire toward positive ends. As we said, the altruist, right? Positive ends. All right, harness your desire, put in positive ends. Exactly what I wrote. That's probably the more altruistic aspiration if you possess the magnetism and inspire worship. Very interesting. I wish I inspired worship. Not really, but I wouldn't waste a wish on that. Once again, we touch on mastery, which I said I think is more of the theme than material inducement. And mastery. But make sure you harness, what did they write here? Harness it towards the positive ends. Okay, let's move on to your tarot. The more eclectic of the metaphysical practices that a lot of people don't throw much credence at. But I find it's interesting, so we can have some fun, right? The 15th card of the major arcana is the Devil. That's right. Which indicates a fear/desire dynamic working here where sexual attraction, irrationality, and passion are concerned. The devil holds us slave through our need for security and money, and he represents our base nature grasping for security. He controls us through the irreconcilable differences which exist in our male-female nature. But the card reminds us that although we are bound to our bodies, our spirits are free to soar. Much like the butterfly there, right? July 15 people must also understand their desires, their source of motivation, and learn to be honest about them. All right. Hey, the tarot of the devil, right? It's an interesting dynamic to append to this day. Security and what one does to acquire as much, day in and day out. Especially considering a natural mastery at what provides that security is the theme. Even if such things weren't challenging, I imagine a whole host of additional complications would arise. Heavy is the head, who wears the crown kind of thing. Isn't that right? So even though you're a master, that doesn't mean it's going to be an easy path. No, sir. Even though the rest of us are struggling just to try and master, if it comes easy to you, I'm sure there's another level of difficulty. All right, what else did we write here? It's imperative to understand the source of your motivation. If you were willing to live a life, like say, in absence of that security, if you still want to double down on what you are a master of, then I would say and I would argue that your passion and your motivation is exactly what you should be doing, regardless of if you're secure with that money. I'd say money is nice, but I think there's something to be said for the squeeze being worth more than the juice. That's right. That's what I came up with there. The rest of the notes, who cares? The squeeze is worth more than the juice. All right, let's move on to your health. Those born on July 15th must beware of overindulgence and excesses of all sorts, which generally result in both physical and mental harm to themselves. Excess drinking causing psoriasis of the liver and stomach ulcers, and the deleterious effects of smoking put them at risk. By gaining control over their emotional drives, July 15 people can better ensure personal health. Overeating can also be a problem for July 15 people, and can be managed by adopting vegetarian or low-fat diets with an emphasis on grains, fruits, and fresh-grown garden vegetables. Those born on this day can focus their obsessive nature on competitive and low-contact sports, as well as physical self-improvement, say jogging, swimming, aerobics, usually with healthy results. And here in the notes, I wrote quite a bit for health. Meandered all over the place. Let's see. Concerns notwithstanding, I think it speaks volumes that this whole thing was just a good piece of guidance in general. But being mindful of overindulgence and excess, well, it makes me imagine the person who achieves copious wealth from their work, who devolves into an otherwise unfulfilling, hedonistic, Caligula-like lifestyle, where pleasure for its own sake overtakes the focus of their passion and the talents that got them there in the first place. So an emphasis on grains and fresh fruit notwithstanding, beware the fruits of your labor. It might usurp the labor you spent so much time mastering. And I think that's why it's good to see people who have a lot of cash that they'll never necessarily need, to see them still pursuing their passions. I use like the Rolling Stones still being on tour even though they're ancient as an example. But that's not to say that they're doing it just because they love to sing and play guitar. I'm sure they do, but maybe they got to pay them taxes, right? They got to maintain that opulent lifestyle. But then again, we dive back into things owning you. You don't want your things owning you. And I know it's kind of romantic. This is also what I wrote. But I like to think awe for the master based on what they're capable trumps what they may have in the bank or on their asset sheet. The butterfly over the basket. That's right. The butterfly over the basket of gold or silver coins. All right, let's move on to some advice. Learn to harness your material talents. Use them toward positive ends. Beware of addictions and obsessions, which ultimately slow you down or set you back. Growth is a continual process of change. Evolve an ethical code that defines the person you want to be. And here I've been thinking they've been using ethics wrong. I always associated ethics with society at large, with everybody. E for ethics, E for everybody, and morals are more your own personal code. M for me, M for morals. Pretty sure if you look that up, that's what it means. So they used it wrong twice. Anyhow, let's move on to your meditation. Death in terms of annihilation is an impossibility. Once again, death in terms of annihilation is an impossibility. It's a meditation. You got to think on it, right? Maybe you know exactly what it means. It is your day, right? Let's move on to your strengths and your weaknesses. All right. Your strengths, you're influential, you're dynamic, and you're inspirational. Oh, did I say that twice? Influential, inspirational, and dynamic. Your weaknesses, you're materialist, and you're controlling. Wow, this has been all over the place today, hasn't it? Hey, your season is summer. Your zodiac sign, once again, is Cancer, of the Cancer 3 period specifically, and your quality and elements is Cardinal water. And this has been July 15th, the day of the Material Inducer, from the Secret Language of Birthdays book by Goldschneider and Joost. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description. Don't let my horrible read disenfranchise you from the possibility of owning this book for yourself and having it grace your coffee table. I'll tell you what, even though I might not have done it a justice and my notes might have ruined it for you, who's to say? This thing is going to pay off dividends if you have company or just people over in general. You're trying to break that ice and you're having trouble. I know you're a master at things, but maybe the conversation isn't. I don't know. You were animal magnetism, weren't you? The butterfly animal magnetism. Over that basket of coins. Maybe the basket of coins is all you need. Any event. Hey, if you want to support the channel by shopping through that link, yeah, I would highly appreciate you doing so. But in any event, this is here. It's all about your birthday. And if it was your birthday, I hope you have a happy one. And for everyone else who joined us, I hope you enjoyed yourself and my copious notes and my flubbed reading. And you join us for your birthday. In any event, I want to say thank you once again and take care of yourselves. All right. Oh, and your dice numbers here. A 4 and a 1 for a 5. Yeah, get out there. Look around. See that the universe is taking care of you. Take care of yourselves.